Kevin, I need to loosen up here. Loosen up the lips.
You know what? Tongue twisters. Go.
Let's do it. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Boom, baby. I'm all loosened up.
You got that first one perfect.
Yeah.
The second one, it was nearly there.
Look, it was in the wake of the first one. I was really excited. And
also,
just like,
the first 30 you attempted were...
What are you talking about? That was the first time I attempted it.
On air, yes. On air. The problem is you and I spend some time before we go on air. It's like getting the inside scoop. It's like getting to see what your process is before you talk about trailers.
Yes.
Trailers like Vice, trailers like Sherlock and Holmes, trailers like Dark Phoenix. Before you talk about any of those trailers...
Those are all trailers.
You gotta warm up. You gotta do your thing.
We can't just dive right into Vice. What, do you think we're crazy?
And your warm-up is attempting to do a tongue twister.
Succeeding in doing a tongue twister. I think we all have that on record, and that is all you're going to hear about it.
I'm going to see if I have something in my files. Hold on.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Grab a seat, pour yourselves some whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Listen, it's not like I'm trying to throw you under the bus. It's just I'd like to be
truthful. It sounds a lot like you're trying to throw me under the bus here,
I'm trying to be truthful.
Okay.
Because we're trailer hitch,
reason,
goddammit. And we are honest, we are PC as fuck, and we deliver cold hard facts.
All I'm saying is there's certain things that if we choose not to share it with the general population, that's not being not truthful, right? Right?
A lie by omission is still a lie.
According to who? I don't know. I believe that's philosophy bullshit.
Someone had to have written that proverb, and someone else can write in and let us know who did it. But first...
Until then...
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm James.
This is Trailer Hitch, where we rate and review movie trailers. We rate trailers on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see.
It's a good scale.
If James and I both like the movie, both give it a need to see, we go out, we see the movie, we report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rear Review, where we watched the... No, I messed it up. Now you got in my head about this tongue twister stuff.
I literally just sat here admiring how good you were doing, and then you got in your own head, sir.
Hang on. Hang on. I need to do this for me. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. All right, here we go. We see the movie.
Yes.
And then we review the trailer in retrospect, see how it held up, see how it prepared us for the movie, and we review the movie as well.
Yeah.
But before we can go into the rear view, we got to look ahead at the trailers, at what is coming down the pipeline. And there's plenty coming down the pipeline. We have Vice. We have Dark Phoenix. We have...
Holmes and Watson.
And we also have some other stuff to talk about.
Dude, a lot of trailers came out this past couple weeks. We're not going to talk about every single one of them, but we are going to touch on the ones that we find interesting because it's our show. Fight us. Don't at me. Anyway, we have a teaser trailer for the Elton John sort of biopic, sort of...
We'll get into it.
But it's Rocket Man.
Yes.
And then we also have a whole bunch of trailers for movies that we have talked about on this show before, and we're going to revisit them. We're going to do a little tune-up.
A tune-up, yes.
Speaking of, should we dive right in?
Let's go right in.
All right. Well, I think we should start with the one we were both excited for the first time we watched the first trailer for it, and that is the animated feature film Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse.
Yes.
So we have got like one teaser and then a trailer and now another trailer.
Yeah.
If any of you don't know anything about this movie, I assume you know something about Spider-Man in general.
With great power comes what, listener? Yeah, that's right.
They nailed it. Oh, did you hear it?
Yeah.
It's like a billion voices just shouted out in unison.
It's really strange why no podcast does call and responses. It's just so fulfilling. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Peter Parker gets bit by a radioactive spider. Everyone knows the story. But what a lot of people don't know is there's a lot of iterations of Spider-Man. A lot of what ifs. What if Peter Parker wasn't bit? What if it was someone else? Or what if it was a spider that get bit by a radioactive pig?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's definitely this vibe where after a while people were like, you know what, Peter Parker? Nerd. Don't care for him. I'd like the Spider-Man guy if I didn't have to watch this guy schlep around a camera.
He wasn't such
get
a
yelled at
geek.
by... Exactly, yeah. That is where Miles Morales comes in.
That's right. And that is where the introduction that there are different universes, parallel dimensions and whatever and what have you. Not exactly a brand new concept. We've all seen stuff with parallel dimensions and different universes colliding before. Mm-hmm. This is another one of those. But it's directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller? Mm-mm. No, it is produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
It is written by Phil Lord.
That is what I meant to say.
Yeah. It was literally half true.
Okay, great. I love it. Anyway, in one universe, they directed it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So yeah, new trailer. Really dove into, okay, these are separate universes. None of them know the other ones exist. And now they collide and are working together. Mm-hmm. The first couple trailers, we didn't get that sense. We just got Miles Morales and Peter Parker, but we were just kind of like, are they in the same world or are they from different worlds? I'm not entirely sure. So now we got it's flushed out a little bit more.
We know the answer. Yeah,
we know the answer.
They
now.
Definitely
different universes colliding. The reason I wanted to bring it up is because after the first time we talked about it, Kevin, I looked at this animation, I looked at the style of everything, and just went, this is amazing. I'm so excited to see a different kind of animated movie. Mm-hmm. We've been kind of stuck in the same rut of, Pixar, DreamWorks type of animation style, which isn't bad. It's impressive.
I believe
but
this is 3D animation as well, but it
is.
Definitely gives more of an impression that it looks like a comic.
It looks like a comic book. There's also moments that feel like stop motion, too. It's just...
There are literally moments where, as Spider-Man is web-slinging, you see the little, flip.
Oh, the onomatopoeia
pop up. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And I just went, I'm gonna see this movie. I have to see it. It's a need to see it for me. And I didn't think I thought another trailer would just be on the same level.
Yeah.
But this new trailer surpassed it for me. I'm even more excited for this movie than I was before, and I didn't think that could happen. And that's why I wanted to bring it up today. Also, Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. Voiced by John Mulaney. What else can you want?
Where can you go wrong?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. So
yeah, no, I definitely think that this looks strong. The threat to me is handled super quickly. As far as I can tell, Kingpin has some sort of machine.
It's a blink and you miss it,
and if
he
still has the machine, everyone dies, I think.
And they even name it. Miles Morales says, we need to fix the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one will have a home to go back to.
Yes. It's interesting because it's they have all these different Spider-Mans, but the trailers...
And women's.
And women's. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Or
PC as fuck here. Or pigs.
Or theys. Yeah.
Gender's
a fluid concept.
That's right. Especially with web fluid.
Exactly.
I kind of stumbled over that joke. I was really excited.
I liked it.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Gender is a web fluid concept.
Oh!
Yeah, there it is. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to edit that one into the first part. Okay, good.
But even though there are all of these spider persons or animals...
Yes.
At the same time, it definitely seems to hinge on Miles Morales.
He's the main character.
Yeah, your differences is what make you Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is a lesson that Peter Parker imparts to Miles Morales. And though I really like the character, I love that setup with him and his dad outside of the school, I haven't seen anything for why that specific Spider-Man is the one that has to solve the big issue here.
Sure.
Versus it being a collaborative effort. But at the same time, as far as the storytelling within the trailer itself, I kind of found myself just sort of interested to know more of why Miles Morales is the specific Spider-Man for the job.
Right, yeah. I think that's a very fair point. It's not there in the trailer. The trailer more focuses on just the character of Miles Morales dealing with this Spider-Man stuff being thrown at him.
Yep.
Which I'm cool with and obviously very excited for. So that's what I'm pumped about. And it's still a need to see it for me.
I don't remember what I was at before. Do you remember what I knows that before?
No, I don't listen to you
I'm
when
gonna
we
call
talk.
it a need to see more.
When you talk, I just think about what I'm gonna say next, Kevin. That's how podcasts work.
That's how conversations
man.
work.
That's
really,
right.
When you get down to the brass
You're
tacks.
GD right. Okay, let's talk about the next tune-up. How about that?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about something to say. Let's do the next tune-up. How does
That's
that
a great idea. Let's
Okay,
do it.
cool.
I'm glad I didn't think of that. Should we do Aquaman?
Yeah, let's do Aquaman.
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna wing it. I watched it twice, so that sort of balances out, right? Okay.
You pitch it to me.
Sure.
So, like, our issues with Aquaman before was basically it just didn't look great.
They had action-y stuff in it
Yeah.
that we've seen a lot before.
Are
Like,
we talking about the new
the
trailer?
first
now?
one? The
Oh,
first one
yeah,
that we've both seen. And,
Yeah, definitely. And Aquaman certainly comes off as a even mix between Thor,
Thor, a
it was
little
like-
bit of Wonder Woman,
Yeah,
a little
we
bit of
also
Black
caught
Panther.
Black Panther.
That's right. With
Yeah.
the throne.
It just seemed like an amalgamation of a bunch of other superhero movies.
Yeah.
But does it seem like it distinguishes itself?
Well, first of all, this is a 5-minute extended trailer.
I'm really glad I didn't watch it.
Look, I found it more fun than the first one.
Okay.
It focuses a lot more on just like the banter and relationship between Aquaman guy, Arthur Frick, whatever, and Ariel. I don't know. The Aqua woman with the Little Mermaid red hair.
Actually, wait, hold on, sorry.
What?
I just realized...
I was really getting into it.
I just realized we're effectively creating a new segment right now. And
How
a new
so?
segment needs a name. Because you are trying to sell me really whether or not I should watch this trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, welcome to Touche Salesman, where James is going to try to sell me on a trailer, whether or not I want to watch it. As of right now, no. Based on the first Aquaman trailer, I have no desire to watch a 5-minute
Sure.
trailer.
Okay.
Will I say Touche Salesman?
Touche
or not?
salesman. I see. So I should really like sleaze up the sales pitch, though. Then
No,
I was
no.
doing it. I was doing it a little earnest. We should,
No. You should be earnest because if I catch so much as a whiff of bullshit, I'm walking right out of here.
Okay. Well, I'm anything but a bullshitter, Kevin.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Where was I leaving off?
Really, the notion was, does it distinguish itself
Right,
from
okay.
other superhero movies?
It distinguishes itself from that first trailer, which is a good step. That's what I'll say about it.
Okay.
The reasons we disliked that first trailer was because it was so meh, right?
Yeah.
And this felt like an extended scene. It's like him and the girl go to like the lost part of Atlantis that is above the Sahara Desert. And they're trying to like access parts of Atlantis through it. So they're trying to figure this out together. There's some really good banter between them. There's like a really solid joke that if I said it right now, it would come across as potty humor
yeah,
because
but-
it is potty humor.
Sure.
But it works in the moment. And
Humor is
I've
context-driven.
Yeah, exactly. We got a lot more action shots, but the action shots were more interesting.
Does Aquaman throw a dolphin at anyone?
No, he doesn't throw a dolphin at anyone. But
Okay.
look, I'm going to
Alright,
tell
you're
you,
losing me,
as
but-
the salesman, you don't really want that, Kevin.
I-
I know. I can
You
read.
don't need
I
it.
can read people pretty good. I can tell you wouldn't know what to do with that if you got it. Okay, we're going to be moving on here.
I would have a good goddamn time
Yeah.
with it, is what I would have.
Also, we got a lot more Nicole Kidman kicking ass. She's
Nicole
like
Kidman's in it?
Nicole Kidman plays his mom.
Oh.
And she's Atlantean, and Aquaman's dad is of Earth. He's human. He's of Earth, right?
I don't care about that. Nicole Kidman as a fish person,
Yeah,
though. All right,
and
you
she's
got
like, she's doing some pretty cool fight choreography with a trident in like a living room. It was that's visually interesting and engaging.
Okay.
And then by the end of the trailer, Aquaman shows up in his like orange and green color scheme costume, and it kind of looks badass.
Really?
I always thought it would look stupid. I was sort of proven wrong. I think it looks really cool.
Okay.
There you go. We get a lot more. There's a lot more about the trident of Atlantis being sort of a MacGuffin for the movie. But that's okay. I think that gives the trailer a little bit more focus than the last one, which just kind of felt like floating around in water. Haha, floaties. Anyway, like, where are we going with this? This one feels like it's got a little bit more of a direction and more of a
drive.
focus. So I really liked this trailer. Even though it's 5 minutes, it is too long. But it's 5 minutes because they really let that opening banter, they let it play out. And it works really well. And it gets you excited for, like, the montage-y stuff that happens later. Anyway, Kevin, what do you say? Should I go in the back room and pull up the paperwork?
Touche, Salesman. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
All right. Cool.
Certainly if, like, the humor is landing a bit more, and Nicole Kidman as a fish person, all right, I'll give this a watch.
Yeah, I'm glad I swayed you a little bit. Thank you very much. Well, excellent segment, Kevin. Not that it is a continuation of that segment, but the first segment we started, trailer tune-ups. Lastly, real quick, there was another
you
trailer.
You already sprung one trailer I hadn't seen on.
There was one other trailer for Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh, fuck, okay. This is going to be a second Touche, Salesman.
You haven't watched this one either?
No.
Okay, well, I really don't have much to say about this one. You know me, I'm a Harry Potter guy.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved the last one. I love this one even more. I'm super stoked for it.
You're losing me on the sales pitch. Fucking get to the point.
Look, Kevin, do you know who Nagini is?
No.
Damn it. Okay, well, this sales pitch fell apart real quick. Nagini is the snake in the Harry Potter franchise. It chills with Voldemort.
Yeah.
And it ends up being one of his Horcruxes, right? Bombshell, Nagini was actually a woman way back in 30s or whenever this movie takes place.
So when Harry Potter and his buddies go and break that Horcrux, they're killing a woman who's cursed.
You're half there. Harry and Hermione and Ron don't kill Nagini. Neville fucking Longbottom cuts its head off with a fucking sword. And so, yes, we are implying that he's cutting a woman's head off with a sword. But she's evil, so it's fine. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
I don't think capital punishment is okay. That's a no.
No, it was in the
That's a no deal.
It was in the heat of battle. It wasn't an execution. She was attacking him. He had a sword to defend himself. Head off. Boom. It was bad. It was slow motion too. It was real cool. Anyway, touche, Salesman.
That's a no, Salesman.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a no.
Well, I'm pretty excited about Nagini being a real person.
No, and I don't know, like being sold things, being pitched things.
Yes.
It's got me in the mood to go into a teaser trailer showroom. Kind of like take a look around. We're going to go in here, teaser trailer showroom, and we are going to talk about Rocket Man.
Let's blast off.
Yes.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, I'm right there.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Hello, Rocket Man. So this is the trailer for a Elton John biopic.
Yeah.
Now, when you hear those words, you might think to yourself, I don't know, man, like, don't we have a fucking Queen biopic coming out soon? Like, I feel like I got my fill of this.
Yeah.
You might be thinking that, because I thought it.
Did you only think it, though, Kevin, because you watched the trailer the first time without any sound?
Yes, it is because I was at work. I had a minute and a half to kill. I saw the Rocket Man trailer was auto-playing on one of the social medias. And I was like, I'll just take this in as a visual feast. And as I was watching it, I was like, this does feel like it's a bit structured like the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer.
That's right, yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. And then you and I watched it with sound. And it turns out the sound really makes it.
Really separates it from the pack of rock stars from the 70s/80s. Biopic movies, doesn't it?
I think the first major way it distinguishes itself is Taron
Egerton, I believe.
Or is it Edgerton?
It might be Edgerton.
It could be.
How about T-Edge?
T-Edge, I like it. T-Edge actually sings in this, so it's not...
And it is apparent.
Yeah.
Like...
And not apparent in a bad way.
No.
It's just like there are his
that did
own...
sound bad when I said it,
Yeah.
didn't it? No, I was not knocking him. He has an incredible voice.
Yeah, I think he's emulating Elton John, but you can certainly tell that it's not Elton John. But I think the more important way this distinguishes itself, and what makes me more interested in this, is they're actually making this a really fantastical musical. You get those early flourishes, you get this choreography of dancers, and these women are clearly singing along, And, like, they're playing audio to bridge everything, because it really is sort of like a montage trailer.
It definitely is, yeah.
Right at the end, too, specifically, people are levitating because they're so transfixed by his music, and Elton John levitates, too. And
But never taking his fingers off the
Hands,
keys
exactly.
of the piano. Mm-hmm. He's got his fucking priorities straight.
Exactly. And that aspect of the trailer really made me interested in Rocket Man.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Because
but-
we've seen biopics
Yeah.
about musicians before.
Yeah, and I think the closest comparison we can make to it is probably something like Across the Universe.
100%.
But
yeah.
now we actually get it in biopic form.
Yeah, if
and I
people-
feel like the fact that it's grounded by a real person, these are the real songs that they perform. These are maybe sensationalized, but these are the ups and downs that musician face. I feel does ground it a little bit and makes those flourishes, I don't want to say tolerable because that sounds cruel, but it definitely...
It's a more entertaining story.
It's a more entertaining way to
Yeah.
tell a story that we've heard a lot.
And if people aren't familiar with Across the Universe, it's a fantastical movie, musical, using the songs of the Beatles.
Right.
But it's not about the Beatles.
Correct.
That's the half and half that we're getting with Rocket Man, and I couldn't be more excited. Like I'm very excited about this. And T-Edge.
T-Edge, thank you.
T-Edge has been really making sure people are understanding the difference. He's telling people, no, this is like a rock opera fantasy telling of his story. This is not your traditional stuffy biopic.
Yeah.
So it's a need to see more because it's a teaser, but
Right.
at the same time, I kind of
As of
love
right,
it.
yeah, as of right now, this is probably one of the strongest teasers that we've gotten this year.
Yeah,
Easily.
definitely. Speaking of movie trailers,
Good save. Good save.
Which is what this
I was like-
podcast is about.
I'm really happy you started just because I was like, I have no idea where I would go with this. And clearly it's a hard transition to make.
It is. Hey, speaking of the thing this podcast is about, let's talk about more of those things.
Elton John, as you see in the Rocket Man trailer, clearly indulges in too many vices, which, speaking of,
Hey.
our very first trailer in the main drag is Vice.
I want you to be my VP.
Well, George, the vice presidency is a mostly symbolic job. However, if we came to a different understanding.
I got a plan. I know the direction. The lay of the land.
You know, I was going to contrive some opening with Miami Vice, but why the fuck bother? This is Vice.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's blame Adam McKay, because he wrote and
How
directed
dare
this.
he?
This is starring Amy Adams, Alison Pill, Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Jesse Plemons, Sam Rockwell, Eddie Marsan, Shea Wingham, Tyler Perry. Our random shout-out, we here at Trailer Hitch, we like to give random shout-outs to lesser-known cast members because the top-billed people, they hog all the credit. So, I'm going to give a shout-out to Stacy Greenwell, who plays Nurse. Hey, Stacy, good job, bud. You're in a movie.
Good job.
Really abridged setup. This is a movie about Dick Cheney.
Yes.
That's the big thing you're
Who's
taking away
that,
from this.
you may ask?
He is the VP to George W. Bush, served as the vice president of the country from 2000 to 2008.
Yes.
That's really like the big gist. So I'll start by saying what I liked, which is the energy and the flow of the trailer.
Yeah.
I think that the opening is pretty solid. I will say that Sam Rockwell definitely, though he has the mannerisms of George W. Bush, with the amount of fucking effort that makeup team put into Christian Bale as
Dick
Cheney, clearly it was like, we're gonna give Sam Rockwell a nose and fuck you if you think we're doing anything more. Did you see what we just did for Christian Bale?
That was our prosthetic budget.
Yeah, was what we did to Christian Bale's face.
Also, are we 100% sure that's makeup? Or is it possible Christian Bale put on all that weight? Because
I mean, no, the weight, I would believe Christian Bale would do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, his face.
Right. Sure.
Like, as good of an actor as Christian Bale is, I don't think you can just change your face.
Yeah, no, I agree with
anyway.
you. Sam Rockwell looks a little... Like, I looked at him and I'm like, oh, there's Sam Rockwell. Wonder who he's playing. Oh, he starts talking. Okay, it's supposed to be George W. Bush. Got it.
Yeah. Other than that, no, I did think that the opening was good. I thought that the energy in the trailer, the way that the titles were displayed throughout this was pretty solid. Definitely had, like, the plump and rhythm to a 70s film. Do I think that works? Sorta. Like, it feels weird to kind of have the energy and rhythm of a 70s film with a story that is very distinctly like 2000 to 2008.
Yeah.
But I'll go with it. Like, it's not something that, like, completely throws me off.
Yeah.
That said, really, this trailer hinges on you knowing what Dick Cheney did. You know, like, they have, like, these inferences of what happened throughout Dick Cheney's vice presidency, while also implying that he was really the person kind of running the ship while George W. Bush was in office.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer is mostly just built on you effectively transpose what you know about Dick Cheney onto this trailer.
Yeah.
And that's your story. I don't personally come to a trailer to be like, oh yeah, I remember Dick Cheney, what a piece of shit. It's like, no, like, give me what your perspective is as a trailer. And right now it's like, you're definitely selling me on the fact that he is conniving, but the actual meat and potatoes of his term, which this trailer claims changed the course of history forever, I would like a little bit more out of that.
Yeah, like in what way did this change the course of history?
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Because that's a bold statement. And like you said, they really did an interesting thing when they threw those words up, where it was superimposed over the picture, what you're looking at.
Yeah, but Dick Cheney is...
But as he's walking towards camera, he starts to cover certain words at different times. Super interesting.
Yeah.
So you're really drawing attention to that phrase, to that sentence. But also I don't really know a whole lot about Dick Cheney. I know the consensus is he was sort of running the country. But at the same time, I don't know what changed the course of history from these events.
And I mean, like, just me being pissy, technically, doesn't every vice president change the course of history forever? Because they're the vice president, and that's just what it is forever.
Sure, okay.
Give me more.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, like, sure, like, I know what many believe is the story to be, which was, like, he was effectively running the ship, led us to the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, really with his own interests and companies in mind.
See, this is stuff that's new to me. I didn't actually hear that kind of stuff.
I guess what sort of concerns me is if that's really all we're going to get out of this movie. One, well, yeah, I know. And two, I would say that our current president is probably a bigger deal in terms of what he's doing to the country.
I mean, I will say that this movie was in production before Trump got elected into the presidency.
Yeah, well, and, like, poor timing can affect any movie.
Sure,
but,
yeah,
like,
that's true.
At this point now, like, fuck, Cheney seems quaint.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So, other things I liked, I do like Christian Bale's mannerisms. I think it worked really well. His cadence of talking was weird to me, though. Like, he paused a really long time to say almost anything.
And that's
Is
what
that
I
a
remember
Dick
from
Cheney
interviews.
thing?
That is very much a Dick Cheney mannerism.
Well, as accurate as it may be, maybe scale it back just a little bit in the movie.
For the context
so it
of the
doesn't
movie,
feel
sure.
like an impression. But otherwise, I mean, we're definitely going to get an aspect of this movie of his quote-unquote younger years, because there are parts of him where he's looking much younger in the trailer. This might be a biopic, essentially. I don't know how far back it's going. Maybe that's just a flashback, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot we don't know about this movie. Like you said, it kind of leaves a lot for you to fill in the blanks. One blank I will happily fill in is... You know how to get brownie points with James by including a Killer song in the trailer. So that made me happy. I thought that fit really well, too, because The Man, which is the Killer song that's in the trailer, that embodies, like, sort of what this trailer is implying Dick Cheney was just this guy who just is convinced he's hot shit, and he can handle it all. The song is about, like, in your youth, you think you can take on the world, and it's like, no, you're going to get your shit kicked in.
Yeah.
Life's gonna kick the dirt out of you. Anyway, I thought that was a good musical choice for the trailer.
Yeah, no. I thought the music was solid. And,
Yeah.
like, it definitely commits what's typically for us a trailer sin, which is, like, taking one song and using that throughout your entire trailer, but I think it's handled effectively here.
And I think the reason it worked is because they remixed it at the very beginning, so it almost wasn't even recognizable as the man until halfway in, which is when it hits the actual melody that you would hear on the radio.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to get it to work, just using one track. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Very cool.
Should we rate this mother?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'm going to need to see more.
You can't go anything other than a need to see more with this one. The style is there to keep it away from the never need to sees, but it's just style and makeup.
It's style and makeup and
the killers.
Yeah, that's about it.
So,
and, hey, you know about Dick Cheney, right? And either the answer clearly, because we have like a juxtaposition where it's like I remember a bunch of stuff about him. I don't
know he was VP, and I know the stigma was he was running the country.
Right, and so it's like, hey, you know Dick Cheney was VP, right? And my answer is yes, and what else is new? Yeah. Your answer is no, and why does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, if we... Hopefully another trailer will give us a bit more content and a bit more perspective
of the ride we're going to be on this movie. Yeah, totally. So, need to see more, guys.
Need to see more.
Shall we...
It's looking a bit dark outside. Are you
it
sure
is
you
dark.
Want to talk about another trailer?
And I felt like we were crashing and burning near the end of that one, so maybe we should rise from the ashes like a fiery, dark phoenix, Kevin.
There you go.
Charles, what did you do?
I had to keep her stable.
I protected her.
From the truth? There's another word for that.
This is your fault, Charles.
You're always sorry, Charles. And there's always a speech. And nobody cares.
They're right to fear me.
I've seen evil. And I'm looking at it now.
Dark Phoenix is written and directed by Simon Kinberg. This is starring Sophie Turner, Evan Peters, Jennifer Lawrence, Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Ty Sheridan, Nicholas Hoult, Cody Smith-McPhee. Our random shout out is going to go to Jam Ali, who plays police officer. Hey, Jam. Kick out the jams, motherfucker. Good for you. You're in an X-Men movie.
That's my jam.
Dark Phoenix is about the Dark Phoenix saga, which is like a pretty famous run of X-Men comics in which the character of Jean Grey basically is just, like, you know what? Fuck all of you. I'm bad now. And she becomes the Dark Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And this ultra-powerful mutant that all the X-Men know and love and respect all of a sudden turns on them and is evil. And how are they going to deal with it?
Right. Now, we have seen the Dark Phoenix saga story told to us before.
Which one?
Essentially, X-Men 3: The Last Stand.
I never saw it.
That was a Dark Phoenix story.
Oh.
So, this is a continuation of the X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse. So this is the fourth one in that run. Look, I think credit where credit's due. I really like the cast of this X-Men franchise that they built, these past 4 movies. I think James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender are just spectacular through and through.
Both great actors, yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, most of the time, is really good as Mystique. I really like Ty Sheridan as Cyclops. I think Sophie Turner as Jean Grey is spectacular too. They didn't get a whole lot to do in that last movie.
Yeah.
But I liked the casting choices, and I love those characters. Jean Grey and Cyclops is one of my favorites. In terms of the trailer, it's relatively short. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds. It is very simple, which is, I think, a good thing. It doesn't really bog you down with a whole lot of stuff. It assumes you know these characters at least a little bit and goes, this is Jean Grey. She's a good guy. She's gonna not be such a good guy in this movie for reasons that will be in the movie. So yeah, there you go. And there's also some other things at play in this trailer that hint at other things that I'm really excited about without taking too much time. For example, the moral implications of Professor Xavier mentally manipulating someone to change their nature in, who knows, a possibly destructive way. And I like that he gets called out for it in this trailer. Like, there's another word for what you're doing, and it's just like, You're lying to her about everything. What you're doing is terrible.
Yeah, did you happen to catch what makes Jean Grey realize, like, maybe I should be evil?
No, I mean, it's not that she's choosing to be evil. It's that it's more of a character study, and it has more to do with psychology, because she finds out a part of her was being mentally imprisoned by someone she trusted for years and years. And to have that kind of anger, aggression, or how to deal with that might come out in very destructive ways.
But really, like, the crux of it is, like, what makes her... Like, what makes...
What's the inciting incident?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's really in this trailer. It's sort of in the last movie, so that's unfortunate for if people haven't seen X-Men Apocalypse. She sort of like taps into this unknown power at the end of that movie, but she ends that movie being kind of scared of herself and not really understanding what just happened, which will lead more into this movie. But no, in the trailer, not so much a sense of what tips the scales for her. Yeah. What flips that switch.
Yeah.
Not so much.
And I mean, I sincerely appreciate that you're able to pull that much out of this trailer. I think for me, like, just the style and the tone of it is just, like, so darkness, no parents.
Yeah.
That, like, it kind of, like, just drains me, you know? Like,
yeah, and... that's been a tough thing for these X-Men movies.
And, like, I think really the scene that sticks out for me in Days of Future Past is Quicksilver's time in a bottle sequence.
Yeah, like, that's a great sequence. And now, is there a reason you keep calling it that?
Pants flows better for me, so...
Well, that's a reason.
And no, and I mean, like, I don't mean to call it Days of Future Past to be pejorative. I did really enjoy the movie. I loved that movie. I didn't see Apocalypse because I heard not so great things about it.
It was definitely a step back from Days of Future Past. Yeah.
You almost said pants there.
I think that's just what you're hearing, what you want to hear, Kevin.
I am, truly. But yeah, with this, I mean, like, our music choice is a cover of The End by The Doors. And I know you and I have kind of harped on trailers using children's choirs to sing moody pop songs.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I dislike more is like a moody cover of a popular song. And so, like, definitely anytime I hear a cover of a song and it's a male singer who fucking sings like this, then I'm just kind of like, why are you... Just pay for The Doors. Fuck off. So, like, the music choice, I'm like, oh, this really isn't working for me. And the tone of this is so... bleak, and sure, that might be the character. It's not necessarily the story itself. Even though I would like an inciting incident, you know what? I'll grant you. You don't necessarily have to show me that, because I know that it's all going to lead to the same road of Jean Grey just fucking shit up as Dark Phoenix.
Right.
That said, I think what would draw me to this is the way that you're telling this story. Mm-hmm. And, like, what is something new that you're bringing to the table with this iteration of the Dark Phoenix saga.
I think that's super fair.
Yeah, and just like right now, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be that much fun.
Yeah, I want them to be fun. These are superhero movies. Yeah. They should be fun.
And you can have that bleak content, like, because the crux of what you're talking about, the psychology of Phoenix's character.
Yeah.
I think that you can have that in a movie that is still entertaining.
Yes. Yes, totally.
Right now, I think, like, the only real takeaway I got from this was Jean Grey going and visiting Magneto, and Magneto's response being, you weren't coming here for answers, you were coming here to ask for permission. Mm-hmm. I thought that was, like, a great way to show, like, the intelligence of Magneto, while also effectively tipping her to the scale that he wants her to be at, too.
Yeah, he's manipulating her as a little bit, too.
But that said, I mean, like, if that's what that scene culminates in, it's like, fuck, why did Phoenix even bother going over there? There was really nothing that, like, we got out of that scene other than basically just, like, I'm sure Phoenix goes missing and everyone's like, and the X-Men mansion is like, fuck, we gotta find her. Mm-hmm. And, like, they just needed her to go someplace. I
mean, I think you need to give a movie a little bit more of a benefit of a doubt that the movie is more than just like the sum of these small snippets that you're seeing.
Which is totally fair, but at the same time, I am looking at this from the perspective of a trailer.
Yeah.
And, like, the storytelling within the trailer itself. And right now, admittedly, it's not doing that much.
No, I agree with you. And I agree with you on a lot of things you said. But in terms of just going, oh, I only saw this and this and this, therefore nothing else happens in between is a little unfair, I think. To just be like, oh, they were at the mansion and she disappeared, and now they're like, oh, where is she? I mean, that's a little derivative, I think.
Yes.
But in terms of the style, I will agree with you. I think the exciting thing about what this franchise in my brain was supposed to be was First Class took place in the 60s. Mm-hmm. It felt like it took place in the 60s, and it was kind of fun and awesome about it.
Yeah.
And colorful and energetic. Days of Future Past took place in the 70s. You could tell. It was 70s all over the place. And super far-flung future, too, for that part of stuff. Apocalypse is where it really started to stray, because that's where it, like, got into the 80s. And that's where you really should be having some vibrant fun. But it didn't. Like, that is where it really started to steer towards bleak again. Embrace the decades that you're setting these movies in. Totally. Like, you're setting it in that decade for a reason. And they missed the ball. They missed the mark on how they could make the 80s fun. And it looks like they could be missing the mark on making the 90s fun in this movie. Because this movie's supposed to take place in 93, I think I heard.
Sure.
Show it somehow. You don't
that's
get
what
that.
They're going for is like the grunge aspect of the 90s, and
maybe that that music cue was nothing to me. I didn't recognize the song. I definitely didn't recognize the version. It didn't work for me at all. I feel like I'm bashing on the trailer. I did like the trailer mostly. I disliked how they're not embracing the 90s. The music cue, I think, was a total misstep. And I think you made some good points about it just kind of sort of being darkness, no parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want these to be fun. They don't have to be like Marvel. They don't have to be like Marvel movies. But come on, inject a little fun into your superhero movie. So those are my thoughts about it. Me personally, I'm at a need to see more for this one because of reasons I said.
Yes, of course. I'm at a never need to see for right now.
Fair
at least
enough.
Based off of this trailer.
Because of the Doors.
It's exclusively because of that one dude who sings like this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are other reasons, but primarily, it's that guy.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Had they picked the actual Door song, maybe I would have been at a need to see more.
That's fair.
Hey, man, let's move on.
We really cracked that case, huh?
Yeah, I wish we had some clue as to where to go from here. I don't know if you happen to have anything.
No, I skipped elementary school, so...
God damn it, we're killing it!
We're talking about Sherlock Holmes and Holmes and Watson.
Holmes and Watson.
May I present to you Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson.
I love you. Watson, what a looker, right?
A murder in Buckingham Palace. We have a killer to catch.
No shit, Sherlock.
Shall we begin the autopsy?
A woman doctor.
Fortunately, we have a real doctor.
Yeah? Would you like some heroin?
I have 2 days left to live.
Would you mind if we had a picture together? You see, it's sort of a self-photograph. Hey, girl!
Hey, girl!
James, can I smoke in here?
No.
Can I smoke in here if it's a giant-ass corncob pipe?
Corncob? It's not a corn... He doesn't have a corncob pipe. You're thinking of Frosty the Snowman.
I don't know anything about pipes. Whatever. All right, so this is...
You idiot.
Holmes and Watson. It is written and directed by Ethan Coen. No, not a Coen brother. This is a different Coen. He co-wrote Tropic Thunder.
Got it. Okay.
This is starring Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Ralph Fiennes, Rebecca Hall, Kelly MacDonald, Hugh Laurie, Steve Coogan. Our random shout out is going to go to Amelia O'Loughlin, who plays White Star Line Girl. Hey, Amelia, good job, bud. You're in a movie.
Don't know what that is, but congrats on being that in this movie.
Definitely. All right, so Holmes and Watson. If you're like, wow, another fucking Sherlock Holmes property. Yes, this is another one. But the distinguishing factor is this is a comedy.
Which has been done in the past, the far-flung past.
How far-flung? I don't even remember.
Wasn't Sherlock Jr., isn't that like a comedy?
Buster
Keaton.
Buster Keaton?
Yeah, I'm going way back, Kevin.
Sherlock Jr. doesn't really have anything to do... Well,
oh, no, he imagines himself as like a great detective.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Doesn't really count. But...
it's a great movie, though.
It is a great movie. It's a comedy, guys. It's a comedy about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Yes. Okay. We have so many of these Sherlock Holmes properties, right? Like, we got Benedict Cumberwhistle and Martin Freeman. We got their BBC property. We also have the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock
and
Holmes.
Jude Law.
Yep.
And Guy Ritchie films.
Yes.
Those are those. Elementary, which is I forget what
starring
network it's on.
some guy and Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu as
that was
Watson.
CBS. Yeah,
CBS. Okay, there's that. I feel like there's probably another one floating around there too. Yeah.
But now we have this, and the distinguishing thing is that it's comedy, and honestly, it's honestly pretty funny.
I was very taken aback by how much of the humor landed in this.
I know.
There are 2 jokes in it that don't land for me.
Yeah. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it, but I thought it would be more. More than 2. But no,
I was expecting like 90%. I was expecting maybe like a chuckle.
Yeah.
And if I got a chuckle, I'd be like, that totally met my expectations.
Yeah. But yeah, so look, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, love them or hate them, are successful in the comedy game.
Yeah,
and they're successful when they're together.
Yeah.
I'm just head over heels in love with Step Brothers. I think that movie's hilarious. Talladega Nights was just okay, in my opinion. Because Talladega Nights, though I didn't like that much, it was so different from Step Brothers. And this, clearly so different from those two. Let's talk about the trailer, though.
I did. I really enjoyed it. And I think it was just like how it kept subverting my expectations. So like right at the very beginning where Watson makes a faux pas and tells the Queen that he loves her, I was kind of like, oh, okay, haha. But then the fact that they both turn to each other and refer to the 90-year-old Queen as a looker, I was like, oh my god, that's pretty funny.
The second he's got this look on his face when he goes to shake her hand, and that's funny. The look on his face is funny. Then he says, "I love you," and we're just kind of like, okay. And then it's like, but where is this going? This is clearly leading to another beat in this joke. And you just have no way of preparing yourself for them just going, what a looker, right? Yeah. Stunning. Just like so tame and like withheld, but really funny. Yeah. I've watched it 3 times now and I laugh out loud every time they say stunning.
Yeah.
What a looker.
But even like the joke where Sherlock Holmes takes a cricket bat and is trying to kill a bee.
A mosquito.
Or
just a mosquito, yeah.
And it's, kind of poking fun at the Guy Ritchie, Sherlock
Definitely
Holmes,
the Guy Ritchie one, yeah.
Property. And again, it's
the analytical side of his brain.
Exactly, and like that entire thing, I was like, oh, okay, haha. But then the glass breaks and it turns out that it was holding back a bunch of killer bees, which
just a sign that says killer bees.
Yeah.
The sign itself is funny.
It's very Looney Tunes. But really for me, what kills it is as soon as the bees get out, Watson pulls out 2 pistols and just starts firing wildly.
Just one would have been funny.
But he's dual wielding.
He double fists it like a cowboy and is just trying to shoot killer bees. Obviously missing every single one of them. But you're right, subverting your expectations to where you think these jokes will go. Because you think, I love you, to the Queen. You think that's going to be like the punchline of the joke. And it wasn't. You think the killer bees escaping was going to be the punchline.
You think the gender play with the doctor, like, the joke is in its inherency going to be just like, oh wow, look at how
far we've come.
They
sort of thing. They
used
to not have women doctors.
But the fucking Watson punchline of "Would you like some heroin?" is perfect. Because it does like hearken to like sort of like how fucking ridiculous the times were, but it does so in such a funny way.
And you just don't expect it.
Yeah.
There's just so much diverting your expectations. Even the bad jokes have that. So, let's talk about the first bad joke.
I mean, really, let's talk about, like, the killer bad joke, and it's the biggest because it's the end. And, like, that's... it does end on, like, what I think is kind of, like, the worst note of the trailer, which is the selfie joke. They're going to take a selfie with the Queen. Watson has built a contraption in which they can take what is known as a self-photograph.
Yep.
And they say some iteration of "Hey girl,"
"Hey girl."
Gucci, like
I
that.
liked him saying, "I never do this."
Yeah,
that was funny, but they follow it instantly with "Hey girl."
Yeah, and then
which is not funny.
Yeah, and then like the camera ends up whacking the Queen in the face. She falls and hits her head on a table.
Yeah.
The reason why that joke didn't work for me is because they were doing such a good job of basing the comedy not just in how, like, the arrogance of both of them and how self-satisfied they were, but also in the times themselves. Like, that's why the heroin joke plays so well. It's taking the time and, like, being able to, like, spin and find jokes out of it. And the selfie gag in particular is incredibly anachronistic, and it just doesn't fit with the rest of the trailer.
No. And one thing that I wouldn't say is out of place, but what just wasn't funny, was like the orphan just saying "no shit, Sherlock" to Will Ferrell.
Like that humor specifically, like that and the selfie gag.
Yeah,
I think we can agree that was the humor that at least I was expecting throughout
this whole thing to be. Yes,
yeah, and the fact that like it's 2 out of the 5 set pieces.
Yeah, not bad, man.
It's like, okay, the hit to miss ratio.
That's a good batting average.
Yeah,
yeah, and in the disguise, like Holmes is a master of disguise.
Oh god, it's awesome.
What did you
Pulls
do?
a pistol.
Pulls a pistol on him. What did you do with Sherlock Holmes? Watson, I never left. Amazing. Fantastic. I mean, that one didn't really divert your expectation, but it was funny. It's it's
how they play it.
How they play it, their reactions. I'm excited for this, man. Like, I love Sherlock Holmes type stuff. I love their brand of humor most of the time.
Yeah, the plot is fairly loose. It's just there's a bombing at Buckingham Palace. Moriarty makes a threat on the Queen's life unless they can solve a case in 4 days. Why Moriarty doesn't just kill the Queen outright, who cares? Like, it's not important. It's really, you're there for the comedy.
Yes, yeah. What say you?
I would give this a need to see right now, if I'm being completely honest.
I also would give this a need to see, Kevin.
Double need to
so
sees!
Double need to sees.
Cheers,
clink. I'm excited about this. Look, I'm a huge comedy fan. Comedies are very hit or miss, though. It's really hard to please the majority of the population with one comedy movie.
Yeah, and it definitely is, comedy is incredibly subjective. But at the same time, I think the more specific you go with your humor, that tends to make for more successful comedies, is when you find your bit and stick with it.
Totally.
And granted, this trailer specifically kind of gets away from its own niche a little bit with the selfie joke. The no shit Sherlock joke is a bit too meta for me. That said, the rest of the humor in here I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
And like completely blew my expectations out of the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, need to see.
Fun stuff, man. I'm excited to see it.
Yes, so that's coming out end of December. James and I will see it. We'll report back to you guys in a trailer in the rear view segment. We'll let you know if the movie has the same hit to miss ratio, or if it was like, fuck, there were 4 good jokes and they were all in the trailer.
They were all in the trailer, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we cracked this case of an episode, Kevin.
I don't really know how Sherlock Holmes stories typically end. Is there like a, well, I guess I'm going to go and do some opium?
Yeah,
is that how...
usually ride the horses into the sunset and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that. So thank you very much for listening to Trailer Hitch. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on YouTube.
Yeah, you can also find us on Stitcher.
Stitcher as well.
That's one that I feel like I forget sometimes that's a thing.
I was actively like, I know we have more than 2 means of listening to us.
Exactly.
So yes, you can find us on all of those platforms. If you want to reach out to us, feel free to do so on iTunes. Please feel free to rate. Please feel free to describe. Please feel free to leave a review. If you want to get more direct thoughts from James and I, maybe if you want to recommend a trailer, You can do so by contacting us at our email address, trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Trailer Hitch. You can contact us on Twitter at TrailerHitchPod. And you can also find us on Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast.
That's right. Those are all the things.
Yes.
And also big thank yous. How about big thank yous to people that supplied our music?
Yes.
Casey Clowers with our bitchin' outro theme. I'm doing it backwards this week, Kevin.
I like mixing it up.
Yeah.
Our awesome intro is by Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name fame. I'd like to thank Rachel Ashley for the amazing cover art that you see on iTunes. Also, huge thanks
and
to
YouTube.
Yes, indeed. The art. If you see a drawing of us, Rachel Ashley
we didn't do it.
Great. Also, huge shout outs to Jenny Hawks, our social media and bad movie correspondent.
That's right.
And that about does it for me. How about you, James?
That about does it for me as well.
All right.
Double that about does it for us.
Double that about does it!
So cheers to that, and cheers to all you listeners out there. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
You can't mend holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Red leather, yellow leather.
The Human
Red
Torch
leather,
was
yellow
denied
leather.
a bank loan.
Unique New York.
There you go.
It's another one. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. I was always really good at that one.
Rubber baby bumper bunk.
Rubber baby
bunker.
buggy bumpers.
Where's the bunker come in? There's no bunker?
Rubber
baby bubber bumpers.
It's rubber.
See, this isn't a tongue twister. I just can't remember the words.
Follow along with me. So just like say the word after I say it.
Yeah, rubber.
Baby. Buggy.
Bumpers.
Bumpers.
Rubber baby bunk. Okay. See, that time I did get twisted up. Rubber baby bunker. I keep wanting to say bunker. Rubber baby bumper No. What's the middle word? Buggy. Buggy bumpers.
Yes. Buggy bumpers.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers. That is
there you
the
go.
First
You got
time
it.
I said it.